let's talk a little bit about No Man's Sky, which came to the Nintendo Switch just the other week. And of course, 4.0, version 4.0 got cascaded to the Xbox, PlayStation, PC. And I really, really dig No Man's Sky. I bought into the hype way back when the game was just pretty rough, shall we say, in a rough state. And even back then, there was stuff that I really, really liked about it. It was such a chill, like space mining simulator back then. There was very little kind of going on in terms of what you could do. Nothing nearly compared to what it is today. And the fact that it's such a success story today is amazing. But even back then, you could still do land on a planet, take off seamlessly, go to another solar system, land on another planet. And it was all seamless. I thought, this is all governed by mathematics and a formula. And I thought, this is incredible that it's just generating this stuff on the fly. And of course, many years later, we finally get the full realization of what No Man's Sky could be, the Beyond update, the next update, the whole bunch of kind of big expansions and updates. They brought in mechs, they brought in lunar rovers and different features and things like that. And then of course they brought in multiplayer, which is amazing, which is full crossplay. And just to see Hello Games absolutely continue to knock it out of the park, I was like, they're still delivering on this game, and they're all free updates is wild. And it's still one of my favorite chill games to play. But anyway, I'll stop talking for now, and one of you pick it up and let me know what your thoughts are on No Man's Sky, and then we can talk a little bit about the new features which have just come out.
Have you played it, Jamie?
I have played the hell out of No Man's Sky. I love it. I love survival games and games where I can build bases and games where I can explore. That's a large part of what my gaming is. So Raft, Minecraft, even like to a lesser extent stuff like Dreamlight Valley or Animal Crossing, although I don't have a Switch, but that kind of game, Stardew Valley. So, where I can build my own area, build my base, my farm, whatever. And No Man's Sky, basically, I didn't buy into it when it was first out because before I managed to get sucked into the hype, heard how rough it was at the start. And so I kind of let it slide by. And then I came in a little bit later when it was more polished and had more to do and fell in love and played hours and hours of it. And I've jetted about all over the place. I have a cruiser, I have bases, I have, I love it's so damn good. I'm very happy to see it come to every platform because it's cross play as well. So the more people who can get access to it, the more people you can play it with. So, which I have a lot of friends who are into the notion. So I'm hoping to put a fleet back together before long because
Fleets.
such
So cool.
a
I know.
such
You've got
a
the
good
community
game.
expeditions and stuff as well. They had that tie-in with Mass Effect. If you remember, if you completed the expedition, you could get the Normandy SR
That's
SR1 ship or frigate, I should say, as one of your frigates. And they've been doing more and more kind of tie-in stuff, but the community expeditions are pretty cool. Although they take a long time, so you got to kind of jump in as soon as the expedition becomes available because they do take like a good long time. And it's just awesome that they start doing this kind of stuff. And when this one came out, it had been a little while since I had played up the game because I dip in and drop off quite frequently of No Man's Sky, but that's the kind of the beauty of it. I can jump in, I can do some mining, I can do some spacefaring, some exploration, and then I can leave it, and then I can always come back a few months later to see what is changed, or just have my happy time, my zenning out to a podcast with some exploring the skies of the cosmos and everything. But so I started a new game when 4.0 dropped because I wanted to see what the new player experience was going to be like. And I have to say, they have added a new relaxed mode, and this is now my go-to mode. It is so tailorable to the kind of experience that you want. So you can go in super hardcore and have like a really difficult survival kind of experience where your oxygen is or your life support is failing all the time, and you've got to scavenge your resources and all that kind of stuff, which is great. But then there's little toggles within the difficulty options in relax mode to say, okay, I want to be able to have infinite sprint. So I'm never having to wait on a cooldown between sprinting. And that means just like running across the planets are just so much easier, like a little quality of life feature. You can just kind of perma sprint, like what you can do in Elden Ring actually, or in the Overworld, you just perma sprint everywhere. So that's really good. And then you can say, okay, I want the resources that would typically have X value for crafting and for buying. I want those to be like halved or significantly reduced. So then you're saying, okay, I can acquire things much faster. I can build stuff much faster. I can play the it's like a kind of stock market, but it's a science fiction galaxy stock market. So you can do that kind of stuff more kind of, it's more readily available and quicker to give you that that dopamine hit of being successful and things. But then it goes even further as well to say, okay, I am sick of being out of range of my spaceship to transfer stuff to the hold of my spaceship. So you can just turn that off entirely. So you have like an infinite distance between you and your ship to then just transfer stuff from your inventory back and forth. Again, quality of life stuff, which just improves and streamlines the whole experience, which I'm really, really loving. And I know purists out there were saying, well, that's bloody rubbish because it's supposed to be a struggle. It's supposed to be difficult. But saying that if you want just a chill sci-fi experience, this is it. And the one that so I've toggled all of this stuff on. And the one that I really like is that my spaceship or my starship fuel doesn't cost me anything. So I can take off and land without draining my pulse engines and then having to craft fuel and generate fuel cells and top up the ship every time. So I can go off wandering around for ages. And then because I have it's almost like an infinite tether to my ship, I can just summon my ship in whenever I want. And then rather than having to walk back within range of the ship to be able to get the signal and call it back. So there's things like that in the relax mode. I think this is just so friggin' awesome that they've done this. And they're just making it super easy for people who say, okay, I just want to be a badass explorer, astronaut, and go into space, go into planets, look around, and delve into the story, the science fiction, the lore, the weirdness of it all. And I don't have to worry about, oh my God, my ship is out of fuel again. Jesus Christ, I gotta find this super obscure resource to then craft metal housing for the fuel to go into, and then craft the fuel itself to top up the ship. So I mean, you've still got that if you want it. If you want to put it like that, that's great. But then I'm like, just give me a relax mode. I've got an hour. I want to just get into space, farm some asteroids, get some gold, get some silver, go to the nearest spaceport, do some trading, and have some fun. And they've nailed that with this relax mode. It is so cool.
Honestly,
it's basically the best kind of version of the game now.
Sounds like perfect. I've not played it. I've seen loads of it, and I know loads of other people who play it. Connor plays it, and I have a friend of mine who's a massive fan of it. He's an artist in New Zealand, and he does sort of Bob Ross style paintings of No Man's Sky landscapes.
Oh my God!
You need to look it
link.
up. Yeah. So his name is Joshua Drummond, but his artist handle is Tururu. But I'll send it to you so you can find him.
Can we get him on as a guest?
Oh, totally. He would love that.
Oh,
he would absolutely love that. Yeah.
I will cover my walls in his work.
Honestly, it's absolutely stunning. And then he started doing this thing where he was like interposing other franchises into his work. So there was this amazing, beautiful Bob Ross style landscape, but with an X-wing just flying across. Yeah, it's super cool. I'll send you.
Tell Jamie this. I want to buy this, and now Jamie wants to buy this. Oh my goodness, this sounds phenomenal.
But yeah, and he's an amazing artist as well. Like he's super talented. I'll send you the link so you can see it. But yeah, you should absolutely check him out. But what I love about this, like the Waypoint update that they've done, is it's so accessible. Like there are people out there that don't want to have to struggle when they play a game. They just want to have a good time. Like I love the idea of it being
100%.
just really relaxing, and it's just like I'm just going to spend an hour doing this. Or if you are the kind of person who would actually rather have a massive challenge, just go ahead and bump it up and, add more of that element into the game. I think that's perfect. It's so nice. So nice to have a game dev that is keen to have a game that works for everyone and that is customizable to the point where you can literally play the kind of game you want. You still get to experience the beautiful world that they've created, but in a way that works for you.